do not Huli. We have a number of standard practices. One is everybody is out watching for whatever the hazard is on the water. And it's perfectly okay for someone to say 2 o'clock power boat. Good. Steersman acknowledges it. Everybody understands it. If there's a wave coming and for some reason the steersperson has not accommodated for that, the chant in the boat is paddle through it. When everyone is paddling in a dragon boat, it's a gyroscopic effect. It stabilizes the boat. It's the most stable you can be, even if you take a wave sideways. If everybody is paddling and not looking at their paddle or startling or trying to get away from the water, the boat will paddle through it. The most important thing from a steering standpoint is to every 60 seconds do a 360 and see what's going on around you. So make sure you're aware of what's coming and going. Quartering the waves is absolutely essential. If a wave is coming like this, you hit it like this, or this, or this. If it's coming from behind you, your boat is like this, or this, or this. Your boat is not like this. You don't want to take it sideways. Be aware of your surroundings, what's going on, paddle through it. Do not stop paddling, do nothing but keep the boat going forward. That's your strongest point. In our race on January 2nd, about 2009, we got out on the lake. The waves, wind was up to 22 miles an hour. Waves were 2.5 feet high, and the boat started to fill with water. What happened in that boat is there was a loss of discipline. There were things going on. It was a little scary out there. They were doing fine. We started to have multiple voices in the boat. Everybody was given advice. There should be a coach and a steersperson only. The steersperson in back couldn't really tell what was going on. Didn't know that we were taking water over the side, and there was about 6 inches in the boat already. Her concern was cut the chatter, focus, paddle. Well, the boat got lower and lower, the waves came, and finally it filled with water and rolled over. If you can't swim and haven't been in the water with a PFD, you need to be able to trust your PFD and know what it's like. So that you go in the water, it's cool, nothing wrong with it. That's why we wear these things. Self-rescue, you're responsible, you're accountable, and it is the safest way to go. Being able to self-rescue is really, really important. Tell everybody the Huli drill process. 3 rules, they're really simple. Stay with the boat, stay with the boat, and stay with the boat. If you're 50 feet from shore, you stay with the boat. The boat has 5 air chambers in it. It's made of wood. It's not going to go anywhere. It's your safest thing going. Before we leave the dock, we'll do a count in the boat. We'll know how many souls are in that boat. Everybody will know how many souls are in the boat. 17, say. So you get out in the water, the boat tips over. The first thing you do when the heads are up is you do a head count. And oftentimes it takes 2 or 3 times to get the number right. But it's really important. Somebody may have been hit on the head with the boat when it went over. Somebody may be under the boat. That can typically happen. The important thing is that everybody's accounted for. So what we're going to do, so you understand the process for going over, I will get in the water. I'll be with the boat. Everybody just lean to one side. Water will come pouring in over the gunnel. I will keep it from flipping by being on the high side. What you should know if a boat Hulis is get it over and get it over with so that it doesn't completely fill with water up to, right to the gunnels. What we're going to do today is we're going to get out, flip it over, and clean it, so that doesn't apply. But in an accidental Huli, when the boat goes over, just try to get out. If it's going over, it's going over.
Do it like your life depended upon it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
21.
Okay, once every year, the bottom of the boat should be scrubbed. So everybody gets scrubbies. We'll bring the boat into somewhat shallow water. We'll make sure everybody can stand up. We'll bring the boat in a little closer. We'll scrub it off, get the gunk off the bottom. And then we will take it out into deeper water where nobody can stand for getting back in. Okay, we're not going to bail it here. We're going to move it out. So let's get it out where you can't touch the bottom anymore. Get the bow into the waves. Don't hang on to the boat. Don't hang on to the boat. Just tread water. The process for getting a boat back underway, I'll just walk through it step by step. There is some water that can be removed from the boat by people being on each side and rocking it back and forth. Make sure your bow is into the waves, because if you're sideways, the water is just going to continue to slosh in the boat. So bow to the waves, people on either side not hanging on to the boat because that'll drag it down, but rather treading water and just using it for a little bit of stability.
Yeah, really. Not too fast.
You put a lightweight person in the boat, an agile lightweight person. Every boat should have 4 bailing buckets at least, permanently attached in the boat so they don't float away. The lightweight person gets in and they start bailing. Maybe they get in 50, 75 bucketfuls, somebody else goes in. And you keep that process up until everybody's in the boat. More people, more bailing, pretty soon no more water. Something floats away, you let it go. How do you get in a dragon boat? There are 6 ways of doing it. We will practice all 6 tonight. The first way to get into a dragon boat from the water is you lay your body parallel to the water with your hands out on the gunnels. You try to lay as flat as you can, parallel to the water and perpendicular to the boat. Then you pull with your arms and you kick like hell with your feet. And that launches your body, at least part of your chest, up over the gunnel. And then it's a matter of kicking and squirming and throwing yourself into the bottom. That's sometimes the easiest way. Number 2, just have somebody next to you reach down and grab your foot. Use them as a crutch to get into the boat. Number 3 is, if there are 3 people in the water, 2 of them grab onto a paddle, hold it, hold it parallel to the surface but down low, and it's a ladder now. So
we tried doing that last year, and the 2 of us could not keep the paddle from drifting under the boat when the person tried to step on the paddle.
You got to move it out here, and they have to thrust forward, not up. Here's something that you can put in your boat when you go out. You just put it in a nylon and plastic bag, tie it to the back bench. It's a ladder. You wrap it up around a bench, clip it to itself, and you've got a number of options there to put your feet in. These are tricky. If you sit there and you put your foot in it and then you try to get up, it's going to go under the boat. It'll do it really quick. So what you do is consciously you put your foot in it and then you put your foot way behind you, like that. And then bend it and then launch yourself in at about a 45-degree angle. Then you have the power of the ladder. Those are super simple to make. That thing cost, I don't know, $1.29. I also recommend this to everybody. This is a pocket ladder. Same thing, a little simpler. This is parachute cord. Has a high braking strength. It has a carabiner here, and then I have simply tied knots. It's a long piece. That's 6 feet, so it's 12 feet long. I doubled it. I tied knots in it, and there is a step, and there is a step, and there is a step. All dragon boats have mooring lines on them. Every one of those mooring lines can be used as a ladder. Just, wrap it around the bench, put your foot in the loop and use it. It's infinitely adjustable. It's a line. And that's another way. You will be surprised in the water how difficult it is to get out of the water. Your clothes are wet. There's nothing to really help you out of the water. And that's why we have the methods we've talked about. The last method for getting in a boat, it's called the dead lift. If you have someone that is totally incapable of helping themselves out of the water, they are not able to get in the boat. The dead lift is performed in the center of the boat. The person in the water comes to the boat with their back against the side of the boat, and they just sit there. What you do is, as the rescue person, you get down in a lunge position, squat position. You put your arms under their armpits, kind of scooch them up a little bit, and then you just do a dead lift. Up and back. Whoops.
Fall backwards.
Yeah, up and back, and they fall on top of you. And I've never seen anybody get hurt from it. Keep your head up, but you can get anybody in the boat that way. Another way to do it is to have two people do it. That's a little rougher on the person in the water because the upward and backward force will be not as consistent. But one person on one side, one on the other, and on three, they both just kind of lift it up. They're going to have to stand up. You can't just do it by sitting down. So that's the sixth way. I'm sure there are other ways of doing it. If anybody has any bright ideas, we can try it. The more the merrier.
We have one,
Yeah.
Chuck and I.
Yeah, what's that?
You have the person who's in the water come up to the side of the boat and put their feet in, hanging onto the gunnel, so they're like this.
Okay.
And then somebody, even my size, with somebody much larger,
Okay.
I brace my feet, I sit my butt on the other gunnel, I grab the straps,
Yeah.
and just pop them up.
Excellent. I like that one. That
And
would
It's
work
real
very well.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would work very well. How many of you found it more difficult than you thought to get back in the boat?
I think that it's really a good idea in the future to make sure that the third, fourth, fifth person in the boat be some of the bigger people.
Yeah.
Once you get too much freeboard, it's real hard to get them in.
Well, it's harder to get bigger people in with freeboard. Also, the bigger people have an easier time pulling the little people in. I really appreciate the legs over the side and the two-person pull. That's a good one. I'm going to add that to our list. That worked well. I think about 7 or 8 of you used that one to get in. Anything else?
I think there was just too much talking. A lot of socializing, a lot of celebrations once somebody got in. It could just be a little more, less social and a little more business.
Discipline is always important. You get the chatter and you just lose control. It really is important. Sometimes it's not what everyone would like to do, be quiet and focused, but oftentimes it'll get you in the boat the quickest.
One other thing is that I think it's really important that the steersperson or whoever is in charge indicate who comes in next, so that sometimes we had people coming in on both sides.
Yeah.
Sometimes we had two people coming in on one side, so those who were already in needed to be aware that you need to shift over to balance as they dip down and then come in.
Yeah, your number one, the two priorities you have in a Huli, number one is so that water doesn't slosh in the boat, because that just prolongs the problem. And number two is to get people in. So just keep those two priorities in mind, and somebody needs to be watchful that the water is not slushing in over the side. That's the reason you point the bow in the water. It's the reason you coordinate the entries. No better night for a swim, and no better group to do it with.